Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. So today what we're going to be talking about is some tips and tricks on how to water your houseplants so that you don't become a houseplant murderer. I've been guilty of killing a few plants, but don't feel too guilty because you learn really good things every time you make mistakes. So let's jump right into it. If you love tropicals are sold as houseplants quite often. So this is a prayer plant. There's all kinds of tropicals, and if you need to know what kind of plant yours is, I have some really awesome apps. There's one called, a website called Houseplant 411, and if you find out what plant it is, you can look up so much information on Houseplant 411. An app that I use is called GardenAnswers. GardenAnswers is awesome. You get to take a picture of the plant and then it shows you a list of other plants and you can scroll through and see which one matches. And if you can't find one that matches, there's an option, and it is paid, but an option to ask a horticulturist. Other resources, pretty much all cities have Master Gardener programs, and a lot of them are really, really great resources of knowledge and just great people to meet and talk to, and they're willing to help you out. So, houseplants that are tropicals like to be pretty consistently moist. You don't want to overwater them, but they do like to stay moist. If you think about where they come from, they're in pretty humid areas. They have some tree cover and other plants, so they don't want direct light. If it was up here in the window, it'd be getting too much light, and you would notice leaves starting to yellow, and they would get little, like, burn marks. Kind of like this plant here. That leaf's getting yellow, it's showing some brown. It's got some issues, and that's kind of what leaf burn looks like. So you want to make sure that these stay consistently moist, that they have somewhat bright, indirect sunlight. The next type of plant would be succulents. Everybody seems to love the look of succulents. They see them on Pinterest. They see these perfect, huge things. But the reality of succulents is they're always growing. Little pieces will break off. Here's one of my little succulent bowls, I guess. And don't be afraid to mess around and play with them. They can break off, like that little piece right there. But the coolest thing is, you can set this any dry spot. So I'm going to put this in my windowsill and let it dry out for about a week. You want to notice the end, it'll get a little callus. That is going to seal it up, and then you can put it on top of moist soil and it might propagate. It'll take some time, but it'll shoot out roots and then form a little baby coming on top. The best thing to know about watering succulents is do not water them from the top. Don't do it. That will basically drown them. They like to be watered from the bottom up. So that means you need drainage holes. You need a tray. So I really like this tray. It's got a lip so it can hold a lot of water in it. And I literally just pour a pretty decent amount of water in it when the soil is dry. And the soil will absorb the water, and you can stick your finger in the soil. I like to stick it to about this knuckle. And if it's kind of moist, you're good. If it's dry, it needs water. Basic, simple tips for succulents. Cacti, another one that a lot of people make mistakes with. Cacti don't need a lot of water. So I've got my cacti bowl here, and I really don't water this one very often, maybe once a month, and when I do, I just pour little kind of, not like they're bigger than drips, but you don't need to water it as much as you would water a tropical or most other plants. So be really cautious with cacti. However, you can also go to those apps, find out what the plant is, find out where it comes from, and you want to mimic that environment in your home, in your container. So with these tips, I hope that you have better luck watering your plants, and feel free to subscribe, share, comment, ask questions. Thank you for stopping by.